Hey people, it's late at night, it's 3 in the morning, but I thought I would just get my scriptures ready for Sunday. But then because I was thinking about what I was going to say about the scriptures, I thought I might as well do it now before I lose my train of thought. So I was going to do Romans 12, 1 to 21 about the living sacrifice, and then it goes on about love. But I saw Romans 13, 1, 14, submission to the authorities. And this is something that I struggle with. So I thought I'd do that, break that down, but I'm not going to do all of this chapter. I'm going to go back to the love bit, this bit there, and I'm going to do that alongside this. So I'm going to do this one about authorities. Okay, here we go. Everyone must submit himself to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. He who rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instructed, and those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. For rulers hold no territory for those who do right, but for those who do wrong. Do you want to be free from fear of the one in authority? Then do what is right, and he will commend you, for he is God's servant to do you good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword for nothing. He is God's servant, an agent of wrath to bring judgment on the wrongdoers. Therefore, it is necessary to submit to the authorities, not only because of possible punishment, but also because of the consequences. This is also why you pay taxes, for authorities are God's servants who give their full time to governing. Give everyone what you owe him. If you owe him tax, pay taxes. If revenue, then revenue. If respect, then respect. If honor, then honor. So let's just break this down. So everyone must submit himself to the governing authorities. So that is the police, the courts. What did I put down here? We've got HMRC, police, courts, teachers, CPS, TV license, job centre, work. These are the people that have got leadership over us, in a sense. And God has established things like courts and the police, CPS, for the main reason to keep order in the world. He says, he who rebels against the authorities is rebelling against what God has instructed. Now, for me, why I find this one a little bit hard to swallow is because of HMRC, that Babylon HMRC, where they'd be teething people's taxes. For instance, you've got people doing, eBay now, where if you make over £1,000, you've got to tell HMRC, or people that sell their old clothes on Vinted that they pay taxes on, now got to pay taxes on top of those those old clothes that they're selling to make a little bit of change to HMRC. When they're most probably working a good 9 to 5 or doing even longer hours, and they're paying taxes. So it's like, but that Babylon HMRC, like, they don't even go after the people that they're supposed to go after, like Amazon or all them rich people that don't pay taxes. It's not fair. Like, why should I pay my little tax out of the few little clothes that I'm selling on Vinted? It's just not fair. But these are the words that came to me. Suck it up. Life's not fair. Jesus didn't have an easy life. In this passage, we're seeing that God's just basically saying to us that if we don't listen to the authorities, we're going to end up getting into problems with them. That's why it says, afraid, for he does not bear the sword for nothing, which is that these authorities, these people can do something. If you don't comply with the police or the courts or the job centre, if you're not working, if you don't look for jobs and stuff, you get sanctioned, and then you don't get your money. If you have things going on with CPS that you don't do what they ask, you can have your kids taken away. So that's why he's saying that they bear the sword. So you can get into problems. Where it says here, for he is God's servant to do you good. When we follow the rules, we don't have to look over our shoulders and worry about things. That's what he's trying to show us here. We don't have to worry about police are going to come knocking on the door, or TV license people are going to try find you because you ain't got a TV license. Yes, and I don't believe in TV license. I think they're teething people. But what he's saying is you don't have no worries. You ain't got to worry about these people in authority. The other reason why as well, he's asking us to give what everyone is owed and do what you have to do with the authorities that he's set up, is because we are to be set apart from the rest of the world. We're meant to be different from everybody else. We're meant to be able to show the rest of the world what it is to be Christ-like in our behaviour and stuff. So this is why he wants us to behave and follow the rules, so that no one can say, oh, that Christian person, yeah, them Christians, they're just as bad as no. He wants to. This is why he had the Israelites. He had so many rules. He wanted to set them apart, show the world what it's like, what you can be like as a people when you follow him and do things his way, not our way. There was another thing that I put up here. What have I got? So the governing authorities like MPs and prime ministers and all these people, we look at them and we see that they're corrupt. The police can be corrupt, fitting people up. But the only way I can really kind of put it in a way to show you what God's saying to us is, if the police came for you now and they want to try and have you up and you've done nothing wrong, they've got the wrong person, instead of shouting your mouth off and going off and all this, which only going to get you into more problems, and then manhandling you, maybe getting hurt, is saying, show respect and honour. So you be polite to that policeman that's trying to have you up, even though you know he's wrong. When he says turn around, put the cuffs on, let him put the cuffs on. Be calm. Be calm, just follow along. Because at the end of the day, once you get booked in on all of that and they find out that they've taken you under false pretenses or whatever, then the authorities that he set up, the same ones that we sometimes don't like the courts, you then take them to court and you get a nice little big payout. So you see what I mean? When you play God's way, it always works out for the best. It will always work out for the best. It might be an inconvenience, but it always works out in your favour. When you go against what he says, you end up in more problems. So if they arrest you and you start going off, you could then end up being having other charges put on top of what they're trying to put charges on top of charges that shouldn't have been there in the first place. And as I go back to this thing that I put, suck it up, life's not fair. I mean, Jesus was treated awful by the Pharisees and Sadducees. He was treated badly when they sent him up to be judged by Pontius Pilate. So it's not fair. Jesus didn't have it fair. So why would we expect to have life fair with the authorities that we have in this world? So basically this passage is saying, for those of us that don't pay our TV license, we're supposed to pay our TV license. And he's only saying this so that we don't get in no problems. This whole passage here, this doesn't make you lose salvation. This doesn't make you not be able to enter the kingdom of heaven. What this is about is he's teaching us how to live an easier life in this wicked world that we're in. That's basically what he's doing. These are his rules to say, if you do this, you're going to have it easier in this world that is run by Satan. If you don't do it the way I'm saying, you're going to have problems in life. So it's your choice whether you pay your TV license or you don't search for as many jobs at the job centre, or you don't comply to the police when they are forcibly arresting you. It's up to you. But there will be consequences for your actions, as it said. There will be consequences. But yeah, I just thought this passage would be a good one for us to think about. And just let me know in the comments what you think. As I said, I often do have quite big debates with God about this stuff. I'm quite honest with him, quite vocal with him. He knows how I feel. A little bit stubborn in this area. But I always know that he's right. And I always try to follow his way of doing things because I know it's best for me. Yeah, so that's that for today. Okay. Speak to you soon.